Hey, T.
Now, representing your San Francisco Giants, the one and only Renel.
Hey.
Hey!
Bam.
I can't see. There you is. Oh, and she pulled the ring out first.
That's how we started it off? With the jewelry check.
Yes. Got to do it.
Such a Hall of Famer.
Legend.
Look.
Icon.
Right.
Getting it back popping tomorrow. Cannot wait.
It's crazy. So
Ain't it?
crazy. It's
This
crazy.
whole thing has been insane. And I'm glad to see that you're doing good, healthy, smiling, being yourself.
That
No, you ain't. Stop.
quarantine 15 for real.
I'm gonna go get that Drake liposuction. So let me know. But you look fine to me.
Thank you, baby. I've been drinking.
I've been drinking.
Every night.
Watermelon?
Right.
Yes.
He business repping. He got his hat. I got my jacket on. Hey, get it.
Hey, listen, I love you all. But as long as I'm from East Oakland, California, I gotta go ahead and put my boys up for a second. Especially because we playing tomorrow.
Right.
Today.
Well, the Giants are playing too.
Tonight and tomorrow. And by the way, you know I was born at Kaiser Hospital in Oakland. And I actually, my first sports work was with the Oakland A's in 1988.
AKA, get me right.
Let me just say, you can take the girl out of the 510. You cannot take the 510 out of the girl. Let's not get it twisted. I'm still 510 all day long, and you know I'm still riding for my Raiders, even though they're in Vegas.
That we all can agree on.
Right.
Yeah.
Go Cowboys.
Yeah.
I got a rep for mine.
I am mad.
How are you feeling getting back in there? So you're going to be in your normal spot, right? Over there doing the announcing, obviously with no fans.
Yeah, we had a dress rehearsal Saturday during for about 4 innings of an inter-squad game. So it's a very scaled down crew. It's just me and the DJ in the booth with a partition, and I don't have to wear my mask when I'm announcing.
Right.
But other than that, I do. But it's and I don't have any access to anywhere else in the ballpark anymore. I used to hit the field and the broadcast. The dugout and the clubhouse and stuff. We have 3 tiers of employees, and whatever tier you're in, that's where you go and that's where you stay. Parking is different. Entering the ballpark is different. Everything is completely different. But I have to say that although it was surreal to walk into an empty ballpark, once I got in the booth and turned that microphone on, I was like, let's go. Let's go.
Right. I'm home.
Right.
Yes, that's exactly how it felt. 21st season, Sana.
Crazy.
21 years?
This is season 21 of the ballpark and me. I'm proud to say I'm the only PA announcer this ballpark has ever known.
Well, you better go ahead and flex on them.
Sound like a boss to me.
Boss. Right. There comes a ring. So are they going to put because I heard rumors of different stadiums using paper in the thing. So is there going to be filming? Do you know? Obviously, because they're going to try to put it on TV. So
yeah, everything's going to be on radio and televised as per usual. The broadcasters, it's a duo, radio and TV. John and Dave on radio, Krug and Kipe on TV. So now they're actually, instead of being in the same booth, they're actually going to be, all of the 4 of them are in separate booths.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. So
are there going to be paper fans? Because I can get my photo up, you know what I'm saying? I got my jacket.
Yes.
I can be one of the paper fans.
Yes, cardboard cutouts is what.
Really?
Yes. And while we're on, I'm so glad you brought that up, because we have different celebrity sections in which you can place your cardboard cutout. like Metallica, Jimmy Garoppolo, Tony Bennett, Joe
On the
Montana,
morning show.
and your girl. I have a celebrity.
Hey.
And we're all attached to a charity. And my charity of choice is, in this moment in time, which is why I got my afro working right now, my charity is the Equal Justice Society.
Okay. I heard that.
We will march on until victory is won. It's all about equality and freedom and justice. So shout out to Eva Patterson, who is the founder and president, my good friend. I've known her for years and done a lot of events for them. I'm actually going to co-host their virtual gala in September. But if you go to sfgiants.com/Renel, RENEL, it will take you to my section. You can purchase your cutout, and a portion of the proceeds will go to the Equal Justice Society.
Nice.
So,
Let me ask you this, because I'm curious. A lot of people have been having different feelings about the piped in crowd noise at the game. Some people are like about it, and other people are like, we really don't need that. Why don't you just mic up the players and do something different? Like, do you think that that's going to enhance the experience that people are having since they can't actually be at the games?
Well, it's definitely something that the players need. And we actually tried that out at dress rehearsal on Saturday. And, at first it's like an old 70s sitcom, like with a but then by the time we got to like the second inning, it actually really did feel kind of natural. So when you're watching the telecast tonight and tomorrow night, it'll probably kind of jolt you for a minute. But as the game progresses, It will feel much more natural. Because the first time we heard it, we was all like, it's like a laugh track from back in the day, But,
right.
But and then just the familiarity of the game and everything, you just start to relax and everything starts to feel the same. And the only thing that is really missing, are bodies in the seats.
Yeah, that's what I was curious about, whether or not they were actually piping it into the stadium as well as like over the telecast. Because if you watch like soccer right now, you can kind of see the difference between, like, they have some games with noise and then some games without. And the ones without just feel super awkward as a television watcher trying to get through.
Yeah. So it's kind of going to be a dry run tonight in Oakland to see how it works, but because I don't know how the mix is going to work from the control room, to the telecast.
Right.
But that ain't my job. They got they got professionals that can do that. But I think get used to it, and it'll start to feel familiar. But it's going to be. I can't wait to watch tonight because it's going to be a trip to see how they can pull this off, and it's just so different. But like I said, for myself and for the crew, we were all like in mid-season form. We were just on headset, joking and laughing and having a ball like we would under normal circumstances. So I feel the fans will respond that same way. It'll feel like you said, Son. It'll feel like home.
Absolutely.
Well, trust me, everybody is just excited to see some type of sports back on television.
Right.
We've been waiting, salivating, just itching for something, since the NBA season stopped. It's like, where are the sports, right?
It's been weird.
So how is it going back and knowing that the season is going to be like significantly reduced because you're not having as long of a season as you usually have? How is it kind of getting prepared for that and just being like, okay, let me just condition my mind to know I only got a few games compared to the what was it, like 162 they usually play?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have like 80. We would normally have 81 home games. And this season we have 30 games. And in addition to that, what's different for me is, I work year round for the team, but I'm super busy from April to September, in a normal season. For me, there won't be any post-game events that I tend to host for season ticket holders or events that I do with the players after games and fundraisers and things like that. All that is gone. So I told my husband, I said, well, I'm just going to go and I'll be right back.
Right back to the house.
Ain't nothing I can do after the game. I won't be down at the 21st Amendment helping Jeremy Affeldt raise funds for his foundation. I'll just, I'll be home in time for the 11 o'clock news for once. You know what I'm saying? And the other thing too that is very different is all the announcements that I make in game those are gone. There's nobody to talk to.
Right.
You know, oftentimes I have like it's very similar to doing a radio show in a lot of ways. Because oftentimes I have different copy I need to read between innings.
Right.
You know, here's a lucky row. We won't have any lucky rows to give anything away. I can't say, you know, buy your tickets for Mexican Heritage Night that's coming up. You know, all that stuff is gone.
Right.
You know, we were still playing the guys' walk-up music, of course.
Okay.
But, you know, obviously no videos, you know, between innings and things of that nature. So I'm just going in. We're going to still do our regular pregame with, you know, anthems and like virtual first pitches and virtual home plate ceremonies. But in game, all those duties are gone. So it's actually a much lighter load for me, you know, than a normal season would be. And I'd also like to point out that this season, not only will you hear the Star Spangled Banner, but you will also don't get me started on that, but you will hear the Black National Anthem for every home game. Lift every voice and sing.
Lift every voice. Okay.
That's dope.
Yeah, and they're also, I've been really involved in a lot of meetings because they really want to support the Black Lives Matter movement, not just for the home opener, but all season long. So I've been in a lot of meetings with, you know, just with giving my input and what I would like to see and what, you know, and just be the voice for my community and offer them ways that they can be, you know, really productive in supporting the movement. So very pleased about that. Very pleased about that.
I have a question. And when you guys plan for the season, obviously you have to talk and consider about the possibility of that thing being ripped right back out from, you know, players possibly getting infected with coronavirus. So, I mean, if that happens and y'all just gonna cut, like, you know, we'll have to come back next season, I guess.
Most likely. I mean, there really haven't been a lot of conversations about that. It's been so overwhelming in these last couple of weeks. I mean, I had to take a COVID test last week that let's swab up the nostril. It ain't no joke.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
No, it ain't.
And then I have to, every morning I have to check in on the app and, you know, as if I have any symptoms, I have to let them know or anything. But then we have to get our temperature taken before we enter the ballpark. And all these, I mean, every day there's more emails about safety protocols and precautions and everything. So that's been really overwhelming. We have like a manual in the control room about different guidelines we have to follow and everything. But there hasn't been any talk about, you know, what will happen if we do have to shut it down. But I imagine if, you know, that's just it. We can't continue. You know, and I'm cautiously optimistic about the season, but if I'm going to keep it real, I'm very concerned because our boys got to go to Texas.
Yeah,
they got to go to LA right out the gate.
Right,
and,
hot spots.
And Phoenix. Those are the three hot spots, and we've already had several players around the league, you know, test positive, and so just fingers crossed, prayers up. I remain cautiously optimistic, but I am also prepared, you know, for the fact that we may not be able to get through the 60-game season.
Yeah. I mean, if they stay away from Florida, they might be good.
Well, I mean, it seems like everybody's playing on the coast. They're playing conference games, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's all regional now, so we do not have to go to the East Coast at all. Cool. But, you know, New York has to go to Florida and everything. But, yeah, so we're just like Arizona, Texas, LA, Colorado. Yeah. So they've completely realigned into two separate like divisions now. Yeah, it's such a trip.
So, question here. How's it gonna feel going into the season with no Buster Posey?
Gonna be a daddy now.
Again, yeah, 2 sets of twins. Okay, they will not have sets of twins. More power to them on that. Well, obviously he's the favorite, right? I guess the older ones are maybe they're like 10 now, 10 years old, 8, 9, 10, I don't know. But yeah, 2 sets of twins. And I know they've been trying to adopt for a while. So first of all, couldn't be happier for them. Totally respect his decision. But he is the face of the franchise. And I know the fan base is going to totally miss seeing him. And I know that I know. And in the clubhouse, they're going to miss his leadership as well. But I mean, 100% across the board, everybody in the organization, the team, everybody supports him.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, on the flip side of that, yes, we will miss him. But, you know, we have an opportunity to look at a lot of these young kids that could be the future of the franchise as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
That's going to be real cool. I just wanted to shout out. Huh?
I need you to move over. See, it's just disrespect. Like, first
What
off,
you mean?
half of your face is cut off. Right? Because you try to represent the A's back there. I see you. I'm just playing.
Oh,
Go
I
ahead.
can go right here. There we go.
I know you're trying to rep. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just wanted to shout out your legendary status real quick, because, you know, there are some folks around here who may or may not know just things about, you know, you talked about how long you've been around, how long you've been with the team, and kind of your relationship to sports in the Bay. We know, you know, you're a big Dubs fan as well. You talked about the Raiders out here, but like, something that I really appreciated, I actually have to brag about you the other day, is that you actually have, you know, your scorecards in Cooperstown already. And the fact that, like, you being, you know, from here, you coming from the seats that we sit in every morning, you know what I mean, and having laid that pavement, but then also being a woman in sports and already be in the Hall of Fame without being in the Hall of Fame, which you headed there, is just like,
Right.
it's amazing. It's amazing. And it also is going to mean something to the next woman who wants to come around, who wants to, you know, who's probably told, like, oh, well, that's a guy thing, or that's, you know, whatever, or maybe being Black, it's going to be hard to do whatever. And, you know, you've laid the pavement for that. So, you know, just wanted to give you the flowers right now for just showing everybody it's possible.
Thank you so much. I've been so blessed with opportunities that I never imagined I would have. And you know, after a radio career that went 35 years, I never imagined that I would have another career in sports. I did some work for the Oakland A's back in the day during the Bash Brother years and everything. I actually got to sit down and interview Mark McGuire. I did a live interview with him back in the day, and remember the skipper Art Howe, and God bless him because he had COVID and he's doing much better now. And Billy Bean, you know, I interviewed him. So my sports broadcasting career actually began in Oakland. And also I did a show called Sports in the Classroom way back in the day. And my first guest on that show was Dusty Baker.
Wow.
The show, every month we go to a different school in the Bay Area with a different local athlete, and, you know, have a conversation with the kids about how the same tools that you need to succeed in sports are absolutely the same tools you need to succeed in education and in your life, really. So yeah. I knew Dusty and I knew Barry Bonds before I even got this job with the Giants. It was really great to reconnect with them and have their support, you know, when I got in that chair, because let's be clear, not everybody was happy that I got in that chair. You know what I mean? Even though there was a woman that preceded me, a Candlestick, for 7 seasons, Sherry Davis, shout out to her, very first woman ever. But now here I come, and I'm a Black woman, and you know, there was definitely some resistance, obviously, but you know what? It's been that way my whole career. I was ready for it. Right. I knew it was coming, and sadly, it still comes at me to a certain extent. But I have to say that the fan base has been beyond supportive, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that a lot of them grew up listening to me on the radio, so they already had a familiarity with me, and they knew I knew baseball, they knew I knew sports. I think it was the traditionalists, the older white guys that were concerned about me having this role. And what's been beautiful is over the years, they come up to me now and they're like, they actually say, I wasn't so sure about you, but now I can't imagine. Yes, they go, I wasn't so sure about you in the beginning, but now I can't imagine a game without you. So that is really rewarding to me, you know, at least give me a chance. Because some people wrote me off before I even turned my microphone on. You know, I remember I was going to my first spring training and I was reading an article in the Chronicle. It was a Saturday. And this particular writer, who now is a friend and colleague, but he had already prejudged what my style was going to be. It's like, let's hope she doesn't bring that morning show hijinks or shenanigans or whatever to the booth. Now, really, would I really do that? Come on now. Come on now. And if I were like a white guy morning show host, I doubt that there would have been any prejudgment of my delivery. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Ooh, I'm getting riled up now. Woo! Yeah.
Shout out to that man for coming around and recognizing greatness. You know what I'm saying?
So many of them have. And the other thing that's been so cool, you're talking about how, little girls and young students of color can now look at the possibilities. This wasn't a possibility for me when I was a little girl. Right. First of all, there were no women or Black women on the radio or television when I was growing up during the early years of the civil rights movement. And there certainly weren't any women attached to sports. So this wasn't even a possibility for me. Now, myself and many other women in baseball in particular, it is possible for little girls. And I've had little girls and little boys, like they wait for me to show up at the ballpark and sign their caps and their gloves and stuff. Little boys have given me their little league cards over the years. And the little boys are like not concerned about my gender at all. You know what I mean? My race nor my gender for these young kids, it's just not an issue. And that's the beautiful thing to me. So I have a whole collection of little league cards in my booth. Everything the kids give me, I got paintings and drawings, everything they give me, I put it up in the booth.
That's beautiful.
Really.
You're a household name now. You don't have a look anymore. You're just the voice of the Giants, period. So
Thank you.
It's amazing what you've done. And you were one of the first people to even embrace me doing radio back in the day. She pulled me aside and was like, "You about to do this?" And I'm like, "I'm gonna try." So to be where you used to sit doing this now behind, some greats like yourself.
Thank you.
It's just dope. And to see the things that you do before this pandemic, man, this woman does not sit down. She doesn't. Like, it goes far beyond whatever she does. And, the recognition that you get from every community organization or every award show or whatever, it's just not enough. Because you represent the Bay to the fullest, girl. I've never seen anybody work as hard as you do, and you love it, and you do it for the people. You don't do it for the accolades.
That's absolutely, you're so right about that, and I couldn't be more proud of you. And what I say to so many people when I'm talking about my career is that I had to figure this out on my own. Even in radio, there was no other woman that I could go to. And the same when I got hired by the Giants, I was the only woman in the entertainment department. I had to figure this out all by myself. I mean, the ally is a big word now. I didn't have no ally, throughout my career. So it's always been important to me that I be for the Sanas and for the Amy G's and for the Kiana Martins at the 49ers, that I be the woman for y'all that I did not have. I didn't have anybody to ride with me on this journey. You know what I mean? So it's important that I do that for y'all. It's important. And you know where I come from. I'm Nathaniel and Juanita's child. Okay? and while we're talking about trailblazers, shout out to my late father, who was the first African-American high school principal in San Francisco. So I was born into activism. Right on. You know what I mean? I was born into activism. I was born into giving back to the community. I was born in, that's how I was raised. And I'm so happy that my daddy was alive for my first game, April 11, 2000 at that ballpark. And he got to see me do the 2002 World Series. That's the one we don't talk about a lot.
Yeah.
It happened.
We not gonna worry about that one,
But to me, it means a lot because I lost my dad in 2003, and for him to have lived to see me announce a World Series game, and that's why the Hall of Fame acknowledged me after Game 3 in 2002 as just the first woman in all of professional sports to announce a championship game. And I didn't even know. I wasn't even thinking about that night. Representative from the Hall of Fame comes up to the booth after the game and says, "Congratulations, we're going to honor you in the hall because you're the first woman to ever do this." I was like, "Say what?" So all of this, I've always said this job is bigger than me. It comes with such a huge responsibility.
Right.
Huge responsibility, and very proud of the work I've done, in the last 20 years. Because I didn't know, my first deal was a 3-year deal. I didn't know, I could have never imagined, in 2020 that I'd still be sitting in, I have a new chair, by the way, in my new chair, my new luxurious chair that
Okay.
I was surprised when I showed up Saturday. I was like, oh, I got a new chair. I got new headphones. Wow.
Hey,
hook it up.
Throne, huh?
Yeah.
They know who they got to take care of.
Right. Right.
Thank you. So it is just an honor to be the voice of the team that I spent so many summers at Candlestick Park, going to games with my mom and my dad and my big brother. And, my grandpa followed Negro League baseball. He was a huge baseball fan, and he passed his love of the game on to my mom, taught her how to score, and then she passed it on down to me. So, I mean, it's really spectacular how this all kind of has kind of worked out for me. I mean, it's a trip. But and my mother's 94, biggest Giants fan ever, and she ready for tonight's game. But she's the reason I love baseball. So everything I do, as Sana knows, is to honor my parents, but particularly my dad and the trailblazer and the community activist that he was.
May he rest in power. I know.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's been wonderful talking to you, and I can sit here and talk to you all day.
All day. Right.
I miss seeing your face in person, and I got stories, but I'm gonna save you and not tell it.
You got hella stories.
We gonna leave those and just enjoy you, glorify the work that you've done,
Right.
and you are the Giants, baby. And I'm so happy that you're still there. There's no reason why you shouldn't be. You're such a big part of the franchise now, and it's just amazing everything that you've done, period.
Thank you. It's so good to see all of y'all. It's wonderful to see you. And, Sana, last time I saw you was right before the world turned upside down. I'm so glad we got to get together and have that sister girl time together. That was in March, right before everything shut down.
Yep. And we were a little bit nervous about even meeting up then, I think, because it had just started, bubbling. People started talking about it. I was like, what is this? And everybody was so confused by it. But we actually did get a sit down in and checked in with each other. So your boys weren't welcome. You know what I'm saying? It was a girl time thing. So
it's all good. I saw Renel over at Davy D's award ceremony and had every morning show of the past 30 years check me.
Check you about what?
Renel came over to me. Now look, we gotta, you know what you're supposed to do. You gotta act right over there. Davey came in and grabbed me. Sway came and pulled me by my ear. I was like, all right, okay.
They told you don't mess up.
Right. Correctly. Represent. That's probably what it was about.
Right.
That was a great event too for Davey. It was amazing to be there with Dave and Sway and Chewy and just, that all of that KMEL history was in the room that day. It was amazing. But thank you all. I'm so proud of each and every one of y'all because, like I said, there were not any black and brown faces when I started out in 1985.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you go. I know that you want to get ready to watch tonight's game, and we can't wait to hear you tomorrow. So blessings to you. I hope the season follows through without any problems. That's I'm going to put my prayer hands up for y'all. That nothing happens to the players or you, obviously, of course, because you're my family. And, I just hope everything goes well. And congratulations for being the icon that you are, girl.
Right.
Thank you. So proud of all of you, and thank you so much for the love. And this was a wonderful conversation. I'm so happy to see y'all, and thank y'all so much. KMEL, always in my heart.
Right.
Yes.
You have a good season, 19.
Thank you.
Peace.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
All right now.
Thank you. Thank
Bye.
you.